All right, let's go here. So we watched Marvel Zombies. It was 4 episodes and said you gotta watch it so we can talk about it tonight. And well, I watched the first two before I called you and said, "Hey, can you watch this for the show?" And I was like, this is a modern day Marvel Studios kind of thing where it's, hey, all those people that we introduced in one movie and only one movie that you've seen them in since, they're super important. Just trust us, bro. And and then the rest, of course, are the Thunderbolts, who basically been in one movie or one TV show and then a movie. And it's like, they're so important, really. No, really. They're so meaningful, so essential to the multiverse saga. Your head will spin trying to make sense of it. And I agree because I'm like, why in the world did y'all do it this way? But Marvel Zombies, the spinoff to that fantastic What If season 1 episode where what if Marvel Zombies? That was really fun, really cool. Had that great cliffhanger. Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Scott Lang's head and the cloak of Doctor Strange descend onto Wakanda. Thanos is there. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet minus the Mind Stone. It's like, oh, this is bad. So Marvel Zombies is in that same world, that same universe where Scarlet Witch is the Queen of the Dead. The Queen of the Dead, the Queen of the Dead. And I really let me talk about the positives first. I like the animation style. I thought it looked really good. I thought the fight choreography was really well done. Blade Knight was an awesome character, and they did some really cool swords play with him doing all kinds of damage to the zombies using that cloak. I mean, it was really cool. And and I really liked seeing Kamala Khan with Riri Williams and with Kate Bishop. It was like, this is what y'all should have been doing in the live action universe. Put these characters together. And I'm writing my review and I'm like, you know what they could have done that I think could have solved a lot of problems, especially that this could have been a movie feel. Just do a regular 8 episode season, have those three as your stars, but have 2 episodes devoted to an origin, a minor villain problem, and for each one. So you get 2 episodes of Kamala, 2 episodes of Riri, who already has a suit of armor because she was hanging out in Wakanda. That way we don't have to rebuild her whole new suit of armor. Because I felt like that was just running in place for where we had left her from Wakanda Forever. And then Kate Bishop gets 2 episodes, fights the Tracksuit Mafia. For whatever reason, they all come together. In 2 episodes, they get to be a team. Oh man, who else could you put them with?
Okay, 2 episodes for now. I mean, because what is it? If you were building towards a champions team, why not just make it? You don't need to. I mean, that episode. I mean, I don't know if they got gun. I don't know if they got gun shy with Runaways. They're like, no, we can't do that. We need to build up more heroes and kind of. This is a better idea than Runaways and Cloak and Dagger. We're gonna do it this way. This is better. I mean, technically, you could have folded in Cloak and Dagger and Runaways, but what do I know?
Not much. You're on a podcast talking about them. David Thanos, where's Marvel Zombies at? Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
All 4 episodes are dropped right now.
If you didn't cancel it, though.
What do you say?
If you didn't cancel Disney Plus.
But so let me talk a little bit about this stuff, and I can do this without spoiling in case anybody wants to see it. My main issue is Marvel Zombies, like so many of these multiverse saga projects, just shows they had no thought whatsoever about what they were doing. It's here, let's introduce 42 new characters. Hopefully, somebody will emerge as the new Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. We can make 4 movies with them. And they keep forgetting they had a very deliberate plan. Like, it's like doing stitch work. They just kept connecting everything. One of their major taglines, it's all connected. And the multiverse saga has been, here's spaghetti. What is sticking? Okay, here's what we choose to stick. And and there were some good, but it just felt like here's that one movie that was good. Doesn't have anything to do with anything else. Here's 4 TV shows, and let's connect one plot thread from the TV show and tie it into a movie. You're welcome. And boy, this one, I really think one of the biggest mistakes the MCU ever did was not getting that Black Widow movie out after Iron Man 3. Like, we needed a Black Widow movie, especially since now they're like, Black Widow supporting cast is so important. Because if we'd gotten multiple movies with Scarlett Johansson, her family, then when you kill her off, spoilers for anybody who's never watched Endgame, these people would have a real attachment to. They're carrying it up for Natasha. Go get them, Yelena and Alexei and Melina. But it feels like they try to pack in so much backstory with Natasha after she was already dead. So her solo movie's like, yo, these are really important characters you've never seen before. But really, they mean so much to the MCU. And they put them in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all these other shows and Hawkeye. It's like they mean so much. And then
They're
here they
in
go
What
on
If Part
Thunderbolt.
2,
What do you say?
they're in the last season of What If.
Yeah, they're all over that
I
one.
mean, it's kind of this thing is when I mentioned that last, maybe a couple weeks ago, was Florence Pugh. Just because they ask you, don't bring you aren't getting to that level, and it's not because you're not putting in the work. It's just they haven't stitched you in enough major stuff. They're putting you in a lot of B, C tier stuff, but you're not. I mean, you are an actress good enough to deserve A tier. Tell them to call me. They got the A tier projects.
Well, I think she's been one of the she's been the Coulson, the Nick Fury
But
of this
that's
whole thing of the
that's the
multiverse
problem.
saga.
She shouldn't. I mean, again, if she is supposed to be the Black Widow character, who is a level, first level Avenger, she shouldn't be the Coulson. Coulson is a background character just appearing in. Good, glad to see you here, bro. Handshake, dap you up when you see. Hey, I might get a drink with you at the bar, but I don't need to see you. Florence Pugh's character, her Black Widow is just treated like that. You're here. I know you're here. Of course you're here. You should be. I'm that chick. But oh, there's 5 other Black Widows every time I'm here. I'm never that Black Widow. My powers and my skill set is always diminished. That's just lame.
And another issue that I can mention without spoiling anything is Shang-Chi. My guy has been in more animated projects than live action stuff. When they were putting together the Thunderbolts team, they needed somebody like him who was not just, hey, I've got a gun, I've got a knife, and I've got these really cool fighting skills. He would have been somebody different, shaking things up, even if it's just throwing his spray of rings at people like he's Sonic. And he's charismatic. And I really feel like he's an actor, Simu Liu, who they could have put up in the forefront of this whole multiverse saga because he's not connected to the Avengers. He could have been the hero. He could have been the hero going all over to all these different movies because he's not tied to Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, whatever. He could have been everywhere in this saga. And they could have made us think he was important because he didn't have the tacked on backstory like Red Guardian and Elena. He's fresh, he's new, and his abilities come after the fact. It's not a where's this guy been? He was parking cars. He had nothing else going on. So
Adding
it
the other,
makes sense for him not to be around.
you could have because we mentioned we know of the 10 rings from Iron Man at least one.
The first one.
So we could have, hey, I am trying to find every time there's a movie that's based in, I mean, or a TV show based in, low level. Hey, I'm looking for the 10 rings. I'm trying to figure out. They didn't disappear. My dad died, but there's activity here. We can mention a 10 ring thing here. This is something that it looks like the 10 rings are actually involved. I mean, Shang-Chi, easy. Not Shang-Chi, but how she? I mean, oh, you could have done it in She-Hulk. You could have done it in.
No, that's the whole thing. I
I'm,
would
I'm
not have
saying
let it go through the TV show.
I'm naming projects. I mean, just
I
in my
would have
head.
kept him strictly in movies because if
Okay,
you want to make these people seem important, you don't put them in all the
okay,
TV shows because
okay,
not
okay.
everybody's watching them.
So you could have put him in. You could have put him in Spider-Man. No, there would have been no problem there. Because he has magic. Could have put him in. Is Doctor Strange after
He could have been in everything. He didn't need to be in
Jeff? But how Jeff?
everything.
Okay, sorry, Jeff. But if that was the case, how do we bring in Aquafina?
Yeah, that was another major thing. And I've said this several times, and I apologize if you heard me say it before, but they tried so hard to replicate the success of Black Panther with Shang-Chi without remembering what made Black Panther so popular in the first place. Excuse me. He had the benefit of showing up and having a key crucial role in an Avengers movie that just wasn't called the Avengers. And he was right alongside these guys and had standalone separate time where he was just, this guy's really cool. Pay attention. He's awesome. So when he got to a movie where he shared the spotlight with other characters, we already knew everything we needed to know about him. And so the time they spent with him on his own subplots was fine. When they devoted time to other characters, it's all good. We already know everything we need to know in Black Panther.
He's a big freaking
Shang-Chi,
deal.
what'd you say?
I mean, the truth is, we would after Civil War, we understand he's a big freaking deal. So if he can elevate other people to his level because he's a big deal. And I'm sorry, I know I cut you off, but Shang-Chi was treated completely the other way. He's not a big deal. He's just a regular dude. And his movie basically did that too. You're not a big deal.
So King Collector says Shang-Chi has no place in MCU unless they force him in. Just let him go.
Okay.
See, I'd argue that he's more unique than Yelena, who there's 50 Black Widows running around the MCU. So because there's a one smart thing they did about introducing all these Black Widows and Black Widow, we didn't know about that before she died. If there were 40, 50 others running around, no one would have cared as much about Natasha. Oh, she's the Avenger Black Widow. And Shang-Chi, there's nobody doing anything like him. They don't have a cool martial artist in the MCU. I mean, people can fight, but the fight scenes in that film were some of the best we've seen in the MCU. And he's got the rings, and they really should have done more to make them more unique and individualized.
Mhm.
Maybe his second film, which we should have gotten and still have not, could have been, oh, these rings do different things. I don't have to use them as bangles. I can actually rock them as rings. So there was more they could have done with him. And you're probably saying he's got no place in MCU because they have made no place for him in the MCU.
Yeah. I mean, the 10 rings by themselves are unique that nobody else has. I mean, and I'm going to say this, not spoiling. I actually think they used him well in Marvel Zombies. I mean, you're going to see, if you watch the show, and I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but I think when you spend your time spent watching those 4 episodes, you're like, huh, you guys put in more work doing this than you did in Phase 4, it seemed like to me. I mean, at least because you put, hey, we need to check this character, this character, this character, and we're going to connect them in there with our overall thread of, hey, the Thunderbolts are our thing, okay? In case you didn't know, the Thunderbolts are the glue holding everything together. Rightfully or wrong, that is what it is.
Could go wrong there.
I mean,
But yeah, it's the connected movie. So, in movie in air quotes, but all the characters they've been introducing. I mean, Moon Knight, sort of, kind of. Blade, we haven't seen. Eternals, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Ironheart, Shang-Chi, Thunderbolts, covered. And they've never done anything like that. Like Thunderbolts 2 should have been a team up. Here's all the other characters and heroes, and we don't know what's going on. And I just feel like because they were so, we have to do something different than what made our franchise such a $1 billion success previously. They dropped the ball, and it's still this thing of like, huh, why are people not going to see our movies?
Okay, because I know you. I'm gonna hit you because I think Shang-Chi could have worked very well in um um Ms. Marvel. I think because again, I think she is the bright spot of the TV universe, and I think that is one of those. Hey, let's lean into this. I mean, hey, we think this. I mean, I get that these Thunderbolts are cheaper than we got. Hey, the other guys, their scales are breaking the bank. Of course, they're actually bringing in bank, but whatever. I think it's hey, let's lean into this character. We can put this character in more movies. We can again. I mean, again, and I'm just being honest on numbers. Hey, Shang-Chi, we should be making a crap load of money. We make sure Finn is not prominent in movie posters with a lightsaber because we need to have a robot because it plays better in certain areas. Shang-Chi, yo, this guy should be a big deal. This is not just straight numbers. There is no reason not to put him in a Thunderbolts movie. Hey, we understand it. What was it? Victoria Hand? No, it wasn't Victoria Hand. What is her name? Julia Louis
Vanessa
Dreyfus.
Monsters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
understand she was trying to get rid of the Thunderbolts, but it could have been very easy. Hey, once she's running a shadow group, she could be running Shang-Chi too. He could be in the Avengers Tower when they get there. I mean, there's nothing that would have stopped that. I
All
mean,
right. So when Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings came in theaters, mind you, pandemic's still going on. People not really rushing to get to theaters. It opened with 75 million. It finished its domestic run with 224. Internationally, interestingly enough, made 207 million for a worldwide total of 432. Now, that I think is pretty interesting just because of like, huh, I would have thought Aquafina being that massive box office draw that we all know she is would have been great. But I'm still confused as to why it was this big thing to have her in the movie. I don't necessarily find her that like, oh wow, she is so good.
okay,
And I just think,
all right. I liked her character in Crazy Rich Asians. Because she was a small bit. She was a main character. She was a pivotal character, but she was not the whole movie.
she
I
was in the
think
whole show.
she's a comedian. Less is more. Better way to. I mean, I don't. I did not like Melissa McCarthy's character on Bridesmaid, but if you chopped her character down, I probably would have liked her a little more. I mean, the George Costanza, leave him wanting more is always a better idea when it comes to certain comedic elements in the movie. But her in Shang-Chi should have been a much more. She's cool, but not basically the co-lead of this movie. And I'm thinking most people do not find her as a good co-lead because of comedy. It's like, hey, I'm here for a Marvel movie, not for a comedy movie.
So let me do this one more time because I was looking and I realized I was just looking at the domestic and worldwide. So I said 224 for Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, is behind No Way Home, a $1 billion grosser. That's also behind Wakanda Forever, Multiverse of Madness. That is behind Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Bub Quantumania.
All right, but at this point, we're comparing apples to oranges.
I like oranges.
You should if you're doing comparison, you look at what is the comparison of Shang-Chi versus Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Panther, because those are origin movies. That's where you have to start. You can't put them on. These guys have been around in several movies. This is the origin movie before everybody's got established character. Okay,
I'll,
go. What
I'll
do you get from there?
I'll do Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. Those are fair comparisons.
Okay.
All right, the first Doctor Strange 233 million domestically, worldwide 677.
Okay.
The first Ant-Man, that was 2016 by the way. First Ant-Man was 2015. That made 180, 519 worldwide. So
Okay.
it's it's making less, and internationally it made 339, which is way more than Shang-Chi made.
Okay. Now during the
So
pandemic,
yeah,
yeah, like
absolutely.
so. At least I can if I'm a being if I'm the director and or executive producer, I can say, hey, these aren't established characters. This is a newer character we're bringing, but compared to all the other characters, we're not that far off. We're maybe 25% less of their gross, and this is also during the height of Marvel, and it was not during a pandemic. We have an opportunity to bring this our second movie, which I don't understand why the hell they're not beating down the door. Marvel, like I get whatever you were trying to do. We should have our second movie. I don't want because I don't see where we fold in Doomsday. We should. We're not an Avenger. Where the hell are where is this good character in this MCU? And our money because you didn't spend giant amount of money on any of these stars in this movie. We made profit. We should be in line for our next movie.
Well, the follow up has been bad, like King Collector said. I'm ready for that new season of Moon Knight. They may be hurting themselves by waiting so long, though. I mean, if you just take a look at everything they've done since they've entered into this Disney Plus streaming era, what's gotten a second season? Nothing except for
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Everything else. And what if? We know X-Men 97, but I would not count that because that is definitely an outlier. So what if Daredevil Born Again have been the shows that have gotten Loki, have gotten second seasons? There's a Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I suppose was made literally to not have a second season.
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk, feel like they wanted a second season. Ironheart, Miss Marvel, and I guess she booked into the Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision, one season. Agatha All Along. I mean, there's a bunch of these, and of course, did I say Ironheart already?
Yeah.
They've done a bunch of these shows and have not shown any interest in Moon Knight to follow up with another season. And if you're not bringing these characters into the movie universe, what's the point? And Moon Knight is a cool character, but they ended that with a bit of a cliffhanger. We're still waiting on that. Like, what are they doing? And like you said, now we're going into Doomsday. Why are these characters here? Why would Doctor Doom care about the Thunderbolts? They don't even matter. Why? How in the world would they matter and show up on his radar?
They're not
It's a
even
bunch of dudes with
elite
guns.
guard.
They're the police.
I mean, they wouldn't even be soldiers in his castle. It's I got Kiros for this. I don't need you guys. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are maybe a drone on the street. That's the best I got. Oh wait, I got robot drones. I don't need you. I actually did make a suit of armor. Like I don't need you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, Falcon, like I said, Falcon and Winter Soldier was not intended to have a second season because it was going into Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Cage has a very great idea. I'd have liked to have seen Heroes for Hire crossing paths with Shang-Chi while investigating the Ten Rings, a Snake Eyes Storm Shadow type Danny Rand and Shang backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
So watching Marvel Zombies, is like this is fun watching these characters interact in a way they've never done. Thunderbolts has come the closest, but it's like all right, whatever. I mean, they introduce and they show characters from all of these movies and all these TV shows, and I thought on that end it was really exciting. They weren't quite finding that right balance between hey, they're zombies munching on people's heads, poking holes through people's chests, and ha ha he that was so funny. I don't know if you could really balance that out and do comedy when you got characters getting decapitated and sliced in half. That was tricky, and I don't think they got that humor the way they really wanted it. So that was kind of lackluster. I said the fight scenes were great, but I really can't stand Aquafina having to have any role in this where she's not an Avenger. They made up her character for the movie, and it's like Shang-Chi can't do anything without her. She's the greatest anchor to him as a character.
Again, and also you're gonna. I mean, when you guys watch this, it does not make sense that she's alive. I mean, again, I think one of the biggest problems is you're gonna figure out real quick. It doesn't make sense. And I think you said it earlier. I don't know if you're going to bring it back. Is this is a very good show to binge watch, so you do not ask the questions of, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And I think there's way too many because you as soon as you called me, like, yeah, give it a call, give it a watch. As soon as I started watching, it was I have questions.
Yeah,
And
I don't think it really helps itself because some of the character logic is simply to advance the story along. And yes, but when you're doing something like this, you can't have the characters doing dumb stuff simply to move the story along. Make the story and the character movement, make the story work with characters and how they've been written, how consistently they've been. They shouldn't be quipping and then something bad happened to them. That doesn't make sense.
because
And there's like some logic that is like, wait, how is this affecting this character way later than everybody else? When it's like, that shouldn't be the case.
because especially if you didn't remember, this
That's like
story starts off as a what if story of what happened if Janet Van Dyne comes out of the quantum realm with a zombie virus. So I think they get a good job of kind of, hey, here's where certain things start. But the problem of where the what if episode left off, there aren't that many A-level heroes. And
there weren't afterwards.
huh?
There weren't afterwards either.
I mean, and that comes really apparent when you're watching the show. It's no. I just and I think it was the second episode. I'm like, this show would have been over. It should have been over right here. But I don't think it's horrible. I think it's worth one viewing. I will not be picking this up on Blu-ray now.
What If came out in 2021. That was the first season. So that was after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So all the major heroes were already introduced. Unless you want to count the Internals.
Hey, they're a bunch of robots. They would have been perfect.
So I thought it's definitely something where they had an idea, and I think each episode gets a little bit worse. And my main issue with the finale was how open-ended it is and how it is so determined on the, hey guys, we're back for season 2. Like it could be fine. I may need to revise my rating, but right now I had to give it the rating I did simply because there's no indication we're gonna get more. And when you look at Marvel's Disney shows track record, it's, well, who knows if it's gonna get a season 2? Nothing else besides a few shows, Loki, Daredevil, What If, have gotten a second installment. And something like Moon Knight would have been cool to see a second season, to get that out there quick. Miss Marvel probably should have gotten a second season. It was entertaining. And they just have not come through with that.
Okay, Jeff, I'm going to stop you there. What of that finale merited, beside the cliffhanger, merited a second season?
Well, I mean, they needed a resolution. Like the whole deal when they announced we're gonna do a Marvel Zombie show, I'm like, why? Because the ambiguity of that one episode in What If was cool. And I was like, oh man, it's about to get so much worse. It's over. But they're like, no, it's not over. The party's not over. And if you do that, you need to have some sort of phony happy ending. It all worked out, sorta, kinda, unless they see the tower where the humans are. Yeah. And they needed something, and this one is so like, wait, what? Like you were distracted on your phone for a second, and then you look up, why are the end credits going? Does that make any sense?
I literally fast forwarded because I'm just, where you got to give me something in this. I I just looked at after I was done watching that. I was okay. I see what you're trying to get this second season. You're trying to get me hyped for a second season, but no, I mean, again, I jumped off What If because that second season was so no. There's no reason for y'all to have a third season. You got it. I'm not watching it. This again, I think if you enjoyed the What If episode, it's worth watching. But kind of how DC's Deceased was, dang, it's getting real crappy out here. But they got to a point where it's all right, we got better. We found our resolution of how it's not as crappy. Okay,
That's my whole thing.
this one
Like,
didn't
you
find
just
that.
can't have your zombie thing running to infinity and beyond. It needs some closure. Maybe it's a fake closure. And it's like, oh man, just around the corner. Maybe you made it to the island. And wait, there's zombies coming. Or just whatever. You need to have some. All right, well, cool. If nothing else happens, that's great. And this didn't even have a post credit, which I thought was really wild.
Because again, it was almost we're cheesing this for the second season. It's like, no, we're not. Aaron Hall is a supervillain, first off.
He's what?
Listen to that dude's real interviews. He's like, dude, you're kind of whoa, a little extra.
Don't be afraid.
Jeff, I'm gonna try and send you one interview about that dude. And this, okay, bro. But what if I really was like, okay, you got the post. You have to have a post credit for the hook. It was, oh, it's crap. Okay. Oh, but you're gonna watch the second season. Why? I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. It does not make that there is a second season. I mean, just based on what they gave you, there should be a second season, but why?
No, I thought there was absolutely a reason for a second season. And something from the first episode, I was like, well, I don't know, because I'm watching something and I'm going, well, that seems to leave a little plot hole open for something to happen. And they paid that off, which I thought was great. They paid it off in the season finale, but it won't matter if there's no season 2. So that's what they absolutely have to do. All right. Well, that's it. If you all decide to watch Marvel Zombies, let us know next week.